Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Going into part 3 of today's episode of Roll20 Presents Waterdeep Dragon Heist, which we'll get to eventually, but houses and real estate. So we find ourselves in the city of Waterdeep. It is the morning after the first night in Troll Skull Manor. Macaria.
Can I make a con save to see how?
Yeah. You can add a hangover to your inventory. Make a Constitution save.
Okay, how hungover is Macaria? Average hungover, a little less than average.
You're okay. You're fine.
Okay.
You're functional. You don't take a level of exhaustion.
Cool.
8. When we see you in the morning, you don't really have to sleep, right? So you're like awake. Are you like tidying in the morning? What are you doing when everybody else wakes up and comes downstairs?
Yeah, 8's already up and downstairs, cleaning the mess that they made in the yard, kind of into a corner of the yard, so that they can hire like a wheelbarrow or a cart or something.
Yeah, somebody to come and take trash away. Yeah.
Yeah, but they've tried to be very quiet during the night because they sleep.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so everybody wakes up and comes downstairs. So what would you like to do today? I assume you just ate rations last night for dinner?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, everybody that needs to eat.
I drank for dinner.
Mark those off. And unless you want to eat rations all day today, you might want to go out and find something else you can.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I want to check out the neighborhood, Adam. I want to see what services, what vendors are nearby, and how I may indulge upon them.
Okay, all right. Well, let's take a look at Troll Skull Alley.
As Rin goes to leave, you probably notice.
Yeah, I'm just like set to march out, basically.
A little thing like hung up on a nail by the door into the main room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little cross stitch, and it's pretty good. I rolled for it. It's pretty good, and I've made you one of the Home Sweet Home cross stitches.
Oh,
little frame. It's 18 good.
It is 18 good. I saw that, Dave. Use your Reaver's tools. It's very nice.
She notices it and nods and like sort of goes to leave. Anybody who wants to come is welcome, of course. But like,
are we going to the bookstore? I want to go to the bookstore. Are we going there?
Rin gets ready pretty like fastidiously in the morning and like quite efficiently at this point.
Yeah, you're the person who's like just waiting. Like, all right, I'm ready. You can come with me, but hurry up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, I was planning to look around the local area, so if the bookstore is there, then yes.
I mean, if I remember correctly, yes. It's he just pointed down the street. I think it's that one of the ways. Somewhere.
We'll take a look.
It's somewhere.
Jewel, are you coming with us? Would call into the house.
Sure. He like scrambles down the stairs. All right, where are we going? Are we dealing, shopping?
I have no destination in mind, just to see what's around the area.
That sounds like a good idea.
Okay, let me grab your tokens, and I'll bring you over here, and you can take a look at your neighborhood.
Oh my god, even a map for that.
Yeah, there's like a little map for the neighborhood.
Gosh, who planned this and why are they the best?
I am 100% making this manor in The Sims.
Right? You should come. We should do it together.
I know, right? Oh,
you can't. There's no like Sims multiplayer.
No, I'm like, we live in the same city. God damn it.
True. Wait, what?
What? Real life. Okay. So I will place.
Sounds like such a good plan. I wish I could get in on. Anyway,
to shrink you.
Oh my god, Rin is so small.
Can I stay that size? Because
no,
Yeah.
I have to rescale you. All right, and then I will zoom the hell in. So, yeah, this is your house. There's your house right there.
Okay.
That is Troll Skull Manor.
I kind of don't love the like line of sight on this because I can't see what the houses look like.
Oh yeah, because it blocks the outside walls. I guess I
Yeah.
could just turn off the. There's kind of no reason to have right now the dynamic lighting. Let me see if I
Yeah,
can just.
it's
Can you see
that's
everything now?
yeah.
There you go.
Because
Welcome
you'd
to the
be able to
neighborhood.
see the houses, right?
Yeah.
It's not just blackness.
Yeah, this map is for when the aliens invade your neighborhood and you have to
And
fight
you have to
them.
fight all the
And then
aliens.
somebody casts enlarge on Dave, and then he becomes this big.
I want that to happen at some point.
He just stomps around, crushing enemies. Yeah, it's the neighborhood defense game. Okay, so you step outside of your manor. And
I'm gonna go up
here's-
this way and look up and down the street here. Trying
Okay.
to
In what direction did the Dragonborn point?
He pointed. He was going this way. He was coming through the alley,
Uh-huh.
and then he pointed like that way.
Okay, so I point that out because I remember talking about it because I was very excited.
Okay.
So I remember that Dragonborn fellow. He and she like knows she knows races. She's been in Waterdeep forever. She was just big, like drunk. But she's like he said his bookstore was that way.
Well, we may as well take a look.
What other kind of stores are we passing?
So.
Oh God!
I was just checking size just for scale, you know.
Fuck! Get that out of here, please.
So you walk, you start walking around the corner, and you look west, and yeah, like this is most of these places are like private residences. They're mansions, they're houses, that sort of thing. So you see those laid out all on this side. There seems to be a sign hanging out in front of this one, though.
No sign.
Right
Read
there.
the sign.
Okay, so you walk over to this one. This building is a relatively unremarkable apartment from the outside. But what distinguishes it is an orange and black sign that features a cat's eyes.
Does it have any text?
No.
Is there like a window or anything on the door in the front?
There is, but the curtains are drawn.
Maybe it's closed.
Could be closed. Yes.
Whatever.
There is a there's a doorbell.
good.
There is a doorbell.
Jewel rings it.
Yeah. So you
She like
pull.
tries the door first and then rings the bell.
Okay. All right.
Cats. She points at the sign and
Yeah, you like
points at her eyeball.
pull on it. And there's like a long pause. How long do you wait before you yank on the bell again?
Not very long.
Okay.
Jewel's not a
Ring it
bitch.
again. All right.
And then it's like getting more and
It's like
more
you ring
embarrassed
twice,
secondhand.
and then you're allowed to break in.
That's the rules.
It's the rules. It's in the code of law. Okay. So so there's
Pretty sure it was in the code.
as you're ringing the second time, like pulling on the bell, the door creaks open. And inside it's an apartment. You can kind of catch a glimpse through the door. It's dimly lit, and you can see there's like flickering light. All of the windows are shut, so it's dark in there. And you are met by a tall, kind of grave-looking human who has like a receding hairline, is dressed in a nice like servant's outfit. And he has a stern look on his face, and he looks down at the four of you, and he says, "Do you have an appointment?"
Do we need an appointment?
He sneers. "Mr. Trench only sees those with an appointment." And he slams the door in your face.
Mr. Trench only sees those with an appointment.
Fine, make fun of the guy's manservant.
Okay, well, I don't like that person anyway.
Forget that guy.
Suppose we'll give that one a miss.
Mr. Trench. All right, so you can head down the street.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, even from here, you can see there's a sign out here, and actually, it's early in the morning, so maybe you see a familiar figure, Makaria. You see Rashal, and he
Look,
has he has a long wooden pole with a hook on the end, and he's putting up a sign. He's hanging up the open sign above his door, and on it there is a curling, a golden, like it's a nice, well painted, expensive looking sign, a curling golden dragon clutching a book like lovingly in its talons, and he's hanging it up, and he's like whistling to himself.
Hi.
And you
Hello,
walk over
hello.
and he hooks it, and he brings the pole down, and he looks down from the doorway, and he grins, and he says, hello, Makaria. And he looks at your friends.
This is the bookstore owner, and
I literally just said his name to
You
remind
remembered
you.
your name, and you did not remember his name.
Yeah,
Yep.
his nostrils like widen a little, and like some little wisp of smoke drifts out of them.
this is my friends. This is Rin. She owns the manor.
Yeah, he smiles, and you see his sharp-looking dragonborn with like white teeth. He smiles, and he nods his head to you, Rin, and he says, "My pleasure."
And this is Jewel. She does not own the manor. And this is 8. They also do not own the manor.
And he says, "Well, whatever your real estate status, I'm sure you have other interesting qualities.
So they can share those with you. I don't.
My name is Rishal."
Ah, Rishal, now that I've had a proper introduction, it is a pleasure to meet a neighbor.
This is the bookworm. Would you like to come inside? I've just
Please.
made tea.
Please.
And he bowws and like gestures like, please, after
Does
you.
does it have bookworm written out?
No, it
above?
does not. No.
Okay. I'm just gauging when I will pick up on the fact that it's a pun.
Yes. Yeah. It does not have it written on there.
I don't think Jewel cares, but Lauren really appreciates it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It makes me happy.
Okay, so you come into the shop, and like every bookshop in all of history across the multiverse, it has that very particular like
Bookshop
glue and ink and paper smell. You can smell some kind of like black tea in the air as well. And it's a beautiful, beautiful shop. It's 2 stories, and there's a curving stairway at the back, and it has the sense that while at a glance it looks as if the books have been piled all over the place, you have the feeling that Rishal knows where everything is in here. There's this sort of system to his chaos, and as you come in, it's like walking into a beautiful library, and and he welcomes you all in, and he invites you to take a look around, and he says,
I'm sorry, Rishal, you said something about tea?
"Yes, I'll fetch it now. Just upstairs in the apartment. A moment." And he goes upstairs.
I forgot his name, even though he just said it. I'm not actually
Rishal.
sorry.
His name is Rishal.
Right.
Would it
I look
be-
around for any books that like might have anything about Merkel in them.
Okay.
Would it be more impolite for me to not drink the tea or to drink it through, I suppose, one of my eyes?
8,
I
you
think
do what
you're
makes
allowed
you
to not-
comfortable.
Drink the tea.
All right.
Yes, I
Also-
don't think it's a rule.
Yeah, drinking it through your eyeball might just make everybody uncomfortable.
I wasn't sure.
Makaria, make an investigation check while you're digging for books.
Okay. 16.
Okay. You find a book called The Time of Troubles. It's a big, thick book, The Time of Troubles. And it appears to have been written, it says like, so Time of Troubles. And on the cover, there is the seal of Candlekeep, the Great Library of Candlekeep. And when you open it, it appears to have been written by a scribe by the name of Allinson.
I want it.
It's very heavy. It's like a big book.
I want it.
Okay. All right. So you're like holding it, like, looking at it.
I'm holding it to my chest after I like opened it and looked at it. I'm holding it to my chest like the dragon in the logo of the shop.
Like Jewel looks over at Makario. Why don't you just take it?
What?
Just take it. You
I
want it.
I
Why
look
don't you just
mortified at this conversation that is happening in front of me right now.
And then like looks over at Rin and goes, in exchange for money. She adds while like perched on a chair, definitely putting a book back on the table.
Yeah.
Well, you see, if later he has more books, then I don't want to get on his bad side.
Yes.
I'm not
So
good
the
at what
first
you.
one you pay for.
We have just moved into this neighborhood. We have just settled down here. We are just meeting our neighbors. Now is not the time to steal their goods.
So you would rather we lie to them?
Property is never mind.
They should know who their neighbors are.
No,
Don't you want them to love and fear you, Rin?
So you hear your host, you hear Rishal returning, and he does that thing where he's like taking slightly heavier than usual steps so that you know he's coming, so that you can stop whatever private conversation you are having.
Yeah.
don't get.
If you want them to appreciate their new neighbors, then we should. I want this book.
So he comes down the stairs, and he's holding a silver tray with teacups, with 5 teacups on it, and a teapot made of some like beautiful white porcelain, and curling around the outside of the pot is painted like enameled a blue dragon. But the dragon is shaped like strange. It's more like a sort of like a snake. Like it doesn't have wings, and it has like a long mustache, but it's unmistakably a dragon. And it's curling around the outside of the teapot. And there is this like spicy smell that is wafting from it when he brings it down. And he says, "My apologies. I don't often have guests. I had to find the good implements. Please." And he gestures, and you can see, you didn't even really notice it before, you can see there's like a table with some like stools around it that has only got books crammed up on one side of it. And there's enough for you to sit down.
I take a seat at one of the like places at the table. Yeah.
All right. So yeah,
Wait patiently for tea service.
yeah.
I also sit down and I put the book on my lap, but not like hiding it. I'm just like,
being possessive.
yes.
Okay. All right. Jewel, are you still exploring, or do you sit down too?
She'll sit down. I mean, I think she was just watching Makaria and like then talking.
Yeah.
back and
Okay.
forth.
All right. And 8, do you sit, or do you
Clambers
just
onto
do
a
you
chair.
stand nearby?
I will attempt to sit if it's possible.
Totally. Yeah. The stool groans somewhat
That's
in complaint, but bears your weight.
And the usual owners are dragonborn, right? So like they're pretty big.
Yeah. He's actually short for a dragonborn.
Oh.
Yeah, he's only like 5'6".
Oh.
So you all sit, and he pours you Rin, he pours you a cup of tea, and he hands it to you. Makaria, he pours you some. Jewel, he does the like, I'm holding the teapot, like, do you want some? He doesn't
She
say
like holds it and then
yes,
just
he gives you tea.
sips it. This, like,
And 8, when he turns to you, he kind of looks you up and down as if sort of appraising the situation. And then he says, would you like some tea?
I would, however, am not equipped to enjoy it.
I think what Aid is trying to convey is that were he capable of enjoying the tea, he would very much like to have some.
Well, it's still very warm for your hands. Do you feel warmth? 8? Like fire, except for nice.
Yes.
Well, there you go. You could enjoy it.
Put my like hand on the teapot. And
Yeah, you're just like holding it. So he pours some tea and he sits and he says, so you've moved into Trollskull.
Yes, there's quite a lot of work to do, but I think at the end of it, it should serve well.
Do you know anything about Trollskull?
It has been out of business since as long as I have been here. I believe it was a tavern. And before that, I think an orphanage for dwarves.
Do you know anything about when it was a tavern?
He nods. He says, "Yes, the most recent occupant."
Do you know who the owner or keeper of the tavern was? Do you?
I do not drink myself. I have never visited the place.
Okay. How much is this book?
And he looks at it. The time of troubles. I had thought to show it to you after our conversation the other day. It is old, but it is a history book and not easy to sell. It came from Candlekeep. Do you know about Candlekeep, Makaria?
Is it in Waterdeep? Do I know about Candlekeep? I don't know.
Like you've heard the name before?
Like
make a history check.
Okay. History.
Like Rin, you definitely have heard of it.
Oh yeah.
Like
14.
because you're plugged in. It's not too far. It's closer to Baldur's Gate than it is to Waterdeep. I'm looking at a map of the Forgotten Realms right now.
Good old Candlekeep with its basement full of doppelgangers. I mean, what?
Yeah, that's right. They had a doppelganger problem. He says,
Well, I got a 14 for knowing about them.
so Candlekeep is a library, might also be a church.
Like a monastery.
Monastery.
Kind of deal.
Yeah, like it's a place where they make books and they know things.
Okay.
They make books and they know.
Yeah.
I know of them. I've never been there myself.
He says, I have many times, though not recently. I have not been much for travel, and the shop's been very busy. It is a beautiful place, like this, and he gestures, but much, much bigger.
What else can we expect nearby?
What about my book?
And he
Yes, your book.
and he looks at you, Rin, like he's talking to a parent whose kid is like, but I want candy.
Yeah.
What about and he turns and he says, old, made by hand, a bit expensive, I think. I couldn't possibly part with it for less than 100 gold. You just like sputter a little.
I look at Bakari and I'm like, well, I suppose if you want it, you best save for it.
Can I do anything for you?
He does not have a
Do you need anyone
exclamation
prepared?
mark floating over his head.
Do you need anyone prepared for burial or?
He says, unfortunately, no. I've no need for a priest of Kelmvor. And if you'll pardon my inelegance, I hope not to for many, many years.
I could also, I don't know, clean or
And
I could, I don't know. What do people
he,
need?
he smiles and he pats
100
you.
gold worth of menial chores.
Yeah, you'll be doing it for the rest of your life.
8 could stab him, and then I could heal him for 100 gold.
He pats you on the shoulder gently, and he says, "I'm sure something will come to mind. You appear to be a very enterprising young woman."
Something, I'm sure, will come to mind. Looks at Jewel.
Don't worry, Courier. I can tell you of the time of trouble. I was there for most of it.
Jewel is very confused because she's just been given very conflicting pieces of information.
And eight, when you say that, your host, Rochelle, looks at you, and he says, "Is that so?"
Well, yes, the Accord and such. I was present for the changes in society.
And
splitting off the Lord of Blades.
I'm not
How
sure.
old are you?
And so Rochelle.
Also, this is all references to Everon. Which
Yeah, it
none
is.
of
Yeah.
us know.
And so Rochelle is like the Lord of Blades, not a title I'm familiar with. Was this one of Bane's epithets? Bale, perhaps.
He was like me, but bigger, stronger, led all of us.
All of you? I would have assumed you were a unique individual. You're no wizard's construct.
It's confusing. And to answer your question, around 5 years. Oh,
He
When was
blinks. And
When was the time of trouble?
hundreds of years ago.
Very
I think
confused.
perhaps this is a what would you call it? A moment of I'm trying to think of how I would refer to this. Cross wiring, but I
Right,
say
but
that.
like, what's the medieval paradigm for that?
Yes.
Yeah. So he says, I think he laughs at the moment of awkwardness, and he says, well, I for one am excited to have such interesting neighbors. I think you'll find that you fit into the neighborhood quite well. Have you had much of a chance to look around?
You're our first stop, other than the eye and the servant.
And he nods and says, good. Well, will you be reopening the tavern then?
I'm not sure yet. It really depends on if we can get things going.
Well, we could use a place to gather.
There's
It
a great
would
deal
be-
of finance that goes into renovating a place like that.
Of course.
Not to mention, we currently have a ghost. So.
A ghost.
I look over at Rin. I'm like, oh, we're talking. We're talking.
And he says, well, I'm sure with a member of Kelemvor's faith in your company, you should be able to dispel such a creature without any trouble.
That was my hope, certainly.
And I look at Ren again, like, you what?
And so while you're the two of you are having this look, he looks over at Jewel, and Jewel, you get a look you've seen before, and this is the "do I know you from somewhere" look. It's the look that he's about to be like, I recognize you. Do you preempt it, or do you let him ask?
She just like accidentally, totally on purpose, just knock something over. Like 100%, whatever is nearest to her.
Oh my god, it's your teacup, right? Because you're a cat, so you're just like slowly pushing it towards the edge of the desk.
Yeah, just like makes eye contact and goes,
Oops.
whoops, I'm so sorry. And then
I catch it. I catch it. It's really pretty, so I catch it.
I make a dexterity save 8.
I don't want to ruin this teacups. They're nice.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I think so. It creates a distraction by pushing it off the table, and then you catch it. I don't think a 14 is enough to catch it with all the tea in it, but
I'm so sorry. I'm such a klutz. I'm really
not to worry. Thank you. And he looks at you, 8, and says, "Thank you, my friend," and reaches out to take it from you.
Give it back. I don't grip it because it's kind of too small, so it's all like.
I feel like this is a routine that has happened more than once.
Yeah.
That like Jewel has just knocked something off a table so people don't talk about her parents, and then 8 catches it.
Yeah.
Actually, Rochelle, you might be able to help me with something.
And he's taking the teacup and setting it down, like wiping his hands with a towel, and he says, "Oh, what is it?"
I have a book that I have no use for personally, but your vast library seems to be the sort of thing that might benefit from this sort of edition. I don't know. And I pull out the spell book from the orc. What was his name? Like Grumshar or something?
Just some kind of jerk ass orc name.
Some jerk ass orc. Yeah, Grumshar's spell book. That's what I've got here.
Yeah.
That's his name.
And I like offer it over to Rochelle to leaf through.
Okay. All right. So he takes it and he kind of flips through it and says, a book of magic. And where did you find this?
On an orc. A rather unpleasant orc.
Well, best to keep these sorts of things out of unpleasant hands.
I agree. That's why I'm hoping you might take it off my hands.
I might. Would you be interested in a trade? He looks at Makaria.
I think technically it's mine. I killed him.
You didn't
he blinks his big gold eyes, and because he's a dragonborn, right? He has the like clear membrane and then the regular eyelid. So he just looks at 8 and blinks hard.
I look over at 8, I raise a hand, and I say, "We'll talk about that later."
Right. He attacked first.
You are right, he did. But like I said, not a polite conversation for a polite place. And turn back to Rashal.
Yeah. And he doesn't seem too scandalized, but he's just like, interesting. Okay. He's getting a measure of you.
So a trade, you say. How much would it be worth if I didn't want to trade it for a book I'm not going to use?
The magic in this book is fairly simple.
Just the basics.
He nods. And to be honest, I would be trading it from you simply to keep it from falling into the wrong hands. I would turn it over to the magist, most like, rather than resell it. I can.
So not much is what I'm hearing.
He says, like, he's trying to kind of imply to you that, like, you probably shouldn't have it either, like, unless it's your own personal spell book. You've basically got a gun, right? A gun that's been used in crimes. And what he's going to do is turn it over to the cops and have it destroyed. And he's giving you an out to not have it. But if you leave, the implication here, and I think you're capable of picking this up, the implication is like, if you take that, the city guard will probably come and talk to you about it. Like, he's going to rat you out because he feels like responsible. Not in a, like, you're going to get in trouble, but like the guard will come and be like, hey, so we hear you have this like spell book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's being very polite and offering, like, why don't you take the book that Makaria obviously wants so badly, and you give me the spell book, and we both just don't worry about it.
I look at Makaria as I hand the book over, and I go, remember this, doing you a favor. Here we go. So
he takes the spell book and he smiles as though he has just learned something again. Like when he looked at 8, right? When 8 was like, I kill people, but then he looked at you and you're like, okay, like this was immediately following that, so it's a bit of a test, right? And he takes it from you and he smiles and he says, thank you, and I will take care of it for you.
I wasn't gonna give it back anyway.
And he looks at you, Makaria, and he says, I think you should find it very enlightening. There are some bits about Kellamvor in there, particularly. An old favorite of mine.
Mine too.
So, who else do we have for neighbors around here, Shawl? Where else should I visit before heading back home?
And he
What
says,
about Mr. Trench?
he says the north. Do you bring that up? Yeah. Okay. He says, ah, yes, my most mysterious neighbor. I've never been able to meet the man myself. His servant comes and goes, bringing things to his apartment. He entertains visitors from time to time, always people looking troubled. And he smiles. He says, I do love a good mystery.
She is already like going over what the plans for the house looked like in her mind, or the manor, being like, oh, okay, where's the best entry point?
Yeah. Yeah. And then he thinks a moment while I open up the list of people that live in this neighborhood. And he says, there is, nearest your home, a townhouse. The owner is a wood elf. We've only met in passing. I've no real interest in herbalism, flowers, gestures around. Haven't the room for it. Just to the south of where you live. You can't miss it. And near there, the Steam and Steel. Again, nowhere I spend much time, but they make weapons, armor. And he takes another look at 8, and he says, worth a visit, I think.
I was just going to comment, certainly.
Some doors down to the east from the greenhouse. I can see him thinking, and he says, noble homes, mostly, the rest. Though, I think we've a new one. Just behind the smithy. A craftsperson of some sort.
That could be helpful to us, considering the state of the manor.
Oh, yes, it hadn't occurred to me. Perhaps they can carve you some new furniture.
At the very least, let us know exactly how much that's going to cost.
I find with these sorts of things, well, we'll see how luxurious you want the interior of your home to be.
I mean, the answer is as luxurious as possible. But my pocket tends not to agree with me sometimes.
I should warn you. You're not the only ones looking to obtain that particular property.
Oh, really?
There's a man, Froon, Emic Froon.
Are you serious?
Tavern
Is
operator.
his name actually Froon?
His name is Emic Froon. Yep.
Like Floon, but with an R.
Yeah, it's a common name. He says he was looking at purchasing the place. It's spelled Frewn, if it's any
Okay.
consolation. Froon, Emic Froon. He was looking at purchasing the place, and if you have it and he doesn't, he may come looking to convince you to leave.
Well, you said looking to purchase the place. We'll see.
Yeah, and he nods, and yeah. So there's some more, like, you know, you can hang out and like finish your tea and small talk and go book shopping if you want to. But customers soon start arriving. There is a like a errand runner from maybe the Temple of Ilmater who comes looking for a particular tome for his master, and that takes Rishal's attention away.
Well, once I'm done my tea, like I'm ready to go. For Makaria's got what she wanted.
Thank you, Rin.
Hmm.
But you did owe me 100 gold.
I did not owe you 100 gold.
The house was Volo's payment. You owned the house. Volo owed me 100 gold. Therefore,
I don't think Volo.
Where are you living right now?
And has a point.
I'm doing work on. Well,
Really?
yes.
When?
Do you know that? Do you know that Kellamvorites get paid to banish ghosts
From where they live?
from other people's houses? I'm just saying.
Speaking
Don't get all high and mighty with me. We'll see.
speaking of gold, we have grander designs than we can account for, as you mentioned.
Yes,
We should
indeed we
look for
do.
more luck
Yeah,
I agree.
and see.
I do.
Sure.
Surely there's some way the four of us can make a little coin.
We've done it before.
If there are things that pay 100 gold, it's probably more efficient than
All right.
the other thing.
You know, some people pay people to cure wounds. Is there a hospital around here?
Actually, yes. Ilmater's hospital, but I don't think they need a Kellamvorite.
Yeah, that'd be kind of depressing. Like everybody's laying around trying to get better.
Woe and doom!
Well, like, yeah, the death cleric shows up, and you're like, wait a second. Well, no, I'm feeling much better. I'm fine.
Ding.
For me, I'm still
Bring out your dead.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
fine.
Plus, Ilmater is the god of like suffering. He
Suffering.
pretty much invented like self-flagellation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you live in the same neighborhood as the Faerunian deity whose portfolio includes endurance, martyrdom, perseverance, and suffering.
Nice.
The god of those who suffer, are oppressed, and persecuted. The crying god, the lord on the rack, the broken god.
One day I will make a cleric of Ilmater. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Do it.
Suffering.
Yeah. He's buds with Tyr and Torm. They get shit done and he gets beat up.
Well,
Pretty much.
I don't have many other skills.
I mean, you're pretty good at keeping us alive. So if we go somewhere that involves killing people and you keep
I
us
still
alive,
liked my idea of 8 stabbing someone and us charging them for me to heal them.
And then you have the extra gold to pay the guards when they come asking why we stabbed someone.
Yeah, I feel like we already know how to get work, and
I am sure if we go
I'm
back
sure
to
we
the
have
yawning
contacts
portal,
somewhere.
maybe my friend Three Strings will have something for us. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
But as for now, we should at least check in on the rest of the neighborhood, don't you think?
Yes, that
There's
one.
There's
the
a
one-
smithy and a craftsman's shop. And
Right. We should get beds.
if you think we're going to have enough money between us to buy 4 beds,
You pool your money and get one bed.
I think
I don't need
you're overestimating our finances somewhat.
I don't know how much a bed costs.
Well, I have one gold, a gold. So
I gave you 5. What happened to the other 4?
there. No, you're right. I do have those 5 gold as well. Never mind.
So you're just strolling down the street while you're having this conversation.
Yeah,
Who
I think
keeps
so.
track of how much money people have?
Yeah, we want to go to that craftsman.
Not as
dude?
much as other stuff.
Where did they say he was?
Behind the smithy.
The smithy. So we're gonna hit the smithy first.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like down here somewhere or something.
Yeah, the closest place is the like flower shop, which is near your house, right? If you're heading this way.
Oh, we have a flower shop near our house.
So is that thing? Do you want to go that way?
Sure.
Because you can cut through. Okay, so this is the shop right here. Once you like actually come into the little courtyard in here, you can see this joint, and yeah, it is a stately 3-story house, and the 3rd floor is made of glass. Now in the sunlight, you can see the sun is coming through it, and it's like looking up into a rainbow. There is a thick curtain of or a thick cushion of green, and then just like blossoms and blooms of every imaginable color blossoming inside this greenhouse up on the roof. Down below there is a door, and over the door now there's a sign hung that says it's got a symbol of a golden flower opening, and in common it says Coralon's crown, and then it says that again underneath in Elvish or Elven. D&D uses Elven, right? And Tolkien uses Elvish. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
Dwarfish.
it says Elvish in language stuff here. I don't know why.
Yeah, I can never remember which is which.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter too much.
Oh, we should go in there.
You'd like to say hello to whoever's running the flower shop?
Yes. Mhm.
All right.
They probably won't make the flower from which the purple smoke is.
Oh no, we could go back to Zoblobs for that. And she goes in. Like,
Yeah, Coralon's crown is a euphemism for opium. Okay. Yeah, so you go in there? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you open the door. There is a faint sort of glassine, like tinkling of bells, and you hear a voice from the back that says, "Hold on a moment. Hold on." And in this shop, everything has this overwhelming smell of flowers. And yes, there is part of this is a flower shop, but there's also racks with like dried herbs. There are poultices and potions, various things derived from plants. And you see an elf emerge from the back. They have long braided hair the color of sunlight. Braided with various like flower like blossoms and like pods and stuff. They're wearing an apron over kind of like plain brown and green clothes. The apron is stained with various plant juices, and they have a set of little like metal shears in one hand. And when they come out, they look like they were right in the middle of something. They're holding like a stem of a flower, and they smile, and they come up to you, and they say, hello, welcome to the crown.
and Makaria blinks for a second, and then she like goes, "Oh, hello. Wow, you're pretty."
They laugh, and it reminds you of the sound of the bells when the door opened. And they say it's a much flowerier version of this, but like it's basically like, you flatter me, but they say it in Elvish, so it's like it sounds much more like nice.
Of course. Yeah.
Both you and Rin, obviously, you understand it.
I wanted to, do you have any wolfsbane
Yes, of course.
or oleander, or
That too.
do you, now I don't know if I want to ask.
What my flustered friend is trying to say is, hello, yes, we're new in the neighborhood. Moved into Troll Skull Manor just recently, trying to do the renovations.
Oh,
Introducing ourselves around.
new,
Rin Stillwater.
new neighbors.
Hi.
Wonderful. Hello, Rin. And you get a little bow.
I'm Makaria Rada, acolyte of Kellamvor. And she, like, when she says that, she doesn't hesitate as much, but she like scrunches her like in between her nose, like her right here.
Make a deception check.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Rad. Let's do it. Let's go. Where is the deception? 12.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, they same thing, like just an incline of their head.
What about Larkspur? Do you have any Larkspur?
And they're not like really listening to you. They're like nodding because they have like basically everything.
Everything.
But they're staring at 8. Do you introduce yourself, 8?
Oh. Hello.
Hello there. What's your name?
8.
Like the number?
Yes. Yes, exactly the number.
Funny. You look like one of a kind to me. I'm Fala. And they like put their hand out to you. You shake their hand?
Yeah, I'd be very gentle.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they shake your hand and kind of give you a look up and down. And like what kind of wood are you made out of? Like the wooden parts of you.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, nearly all of it is covered. So I guess it's only the fact that they have this kind of intrinsic understanding of it that they would know. I believe it is. It's a wood called darkwood.
Okay.
I think it's native to where I'm from because it
Okay.
has conductive magical properties.
All right. So they shake your hand and then they're fixated on some part of you that is made out of that stuff.
Yeah,
And-
like as my arm shakes, you can see like a small sliver of it through the gap in the elbow or whatever.
And they say, "That's not ironwood. What is that?"
We call it darkwood.
It's beautiful. The craftsmanship, I mean. I'm sorry, I'm being rude. And they turn to you, Jewel.
She's 100% just like off in the flowers. Like she's left the group pretty quickly. Like
She's wandered off into the jungle.
yeah, just like she's from a jungle. This is very like homey for her.
Yeah. So, so Vala turns to look at you and has lost you while being fixated on 8.
8 lives with us in Troll Skull Manor. If you could come, I mean.
And
they're like looking at their own hand where it was shook, and the person seems very interested. So they like retract the metal plating on their hand, so like the back of it is all just wood. Just like wiggles their fingers.
Yeah, and they reach out like to take your hand. They're like, "May I?"
Yes, I don't normally show this part unarmored.
Oh, okay. So you hold your hand out, and they take your hand, and your hand is huge, right? Like they take your hand in both hands, and they close their eyes and place their palm like on whatever part of it is like mostly like wood. Like place their palm on your hand and like close their eyes and just kind of like focus a moment and kind of run their fingertips over the grain in the wood. And they take their hands away and look up at you and just shake their head. And there's a faint like sort of clicking sound as the little like seed pods in their hair like click together.
Makaria is pouting because she's not the one getting pet on the hand by the pretty elf.
Yeah. And they smile and say, "Whatever else I see today, I'm sure it will pale in comparison. Thank you for coming in here. And you live in Troll Skull now, you said?"
Yes.
We do.
Lovely.
Hoping to renovate the place a little. I don't suppose You have any leads on anything that might bring in a little revenue? Tasks?
Nothing that I can think of, but I have friends, and my friends have friends, and I think I know the sort of work you're looking for. I can ask around.
Please, inquire for us.
Rin, it was. Stillwater?
Yes.
If I hear of anything, I'll send my friends your way.
Thank you.
Siraj might have a job for you.
Siraj. Is this someone I should know?
No. You might come to. A friend of mine.
Well, I look forward to meeting them then.
And if you are the sorts of folk I think you are, if you ever find yourselves in need of an apothecary, someone to make potions for you, I have some, locked away in the back, for special customers.
I will keep that in mind when we have more than a single gold to rub together, as it were.
I think as soon as she says locked away, special, like just see this cat like pop up from behind a very large plant.
I love so much that everyone is going around like meeting their neighbors and like interacting with them, and Jewel is just literally like, let's go to the next shop, I gotta case the joint. Examining the locks, looking at the chest, like where you keep all your expensive shit.
Do you,
That's what she's about.
do you teach herbalism?
No, I'm rubbish as a teacher, I'm afraid. I haven't the patience for it, which might surprise you.
Well, I'll take some oleander and wolfsbane and foxglove, and yeah, that'll probably be fine.
Okay, so you're gonna buy some herbs.
I mean, yes.
Okay, all right, yeah. So you set about doing that, and the rest of you have a moment in this like flower shop.
Do you try and like touch her hand when you exchange the coins or something? Like
They.
sorry.
And no, Makaria doesn't touch anyone.
Oh, that's
Okay, all right, cool. Okay, well, I don't know how much that stuff costs, but if there's something in the player's handbook that equivocates it, you can purchase.
I'll
things.
look. I just want it. They're poisonous.
Sure, yeah, that's
That
fine.
was going to be my guess. I didn't know what they did.
They're all deadly poisonous
They're all
plants.
poisons.
Yes.
Yeah, or they can be made into poison.
Here I was hoping you might actually buy something that would help us get rid of our ghost friend, but
Yeah.
No.
That ghost's already as dead as they can get.
They're very, very poisonous.
Cool.
They could be more dead. They could be gone.
All right. Well, let's take our last break here, and when we return, we can visit the last of your neighbors.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Stick around. We'll be right back with the conclusion of today's episode.